Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. I'm so glad to have you here with me this evening. It's the 28th of September. So, hello, the Fox. Hello, Bruce. Hello, Andrew. So, I hope you're all doing well. They're all the ones that appeared on my screen at the moment. So, we've got a bit to talk about. We also have to talk about Katie Joy because she's still on the really bizarre Gabby Petito bandwagon, and which is really sad because I don't like people taking advantage of a traumatic situation. Plus, she's had a go at the bounty hunter. Yes. So very, very interesting. And she got blocked by, I think, Lisa Chapman, Dog's daughter or something. So there's all sorts of sagas going on, but we've got lots to talk about. So R. Kelly was actually convicted today of his crimes. That's in New York. He still has to face charges in Illinois and Minnesota, and I think Chicago. So we'll have a look at that. We've got more legal action being taken this time in Queensland by the police force over mandatory vaccinations. Did you know that India has had their lowest ever deaths since March? It's quite fascinating. We've got to talk about Simone Biles and what was revealed in her documentary. So there's so much to talk about. So I hope that we will be in for a really good evening. So let's get started. So let's start with R. Kelly. Hello, Dee. How are you? And if you think I'm sounding chipper, before we start, you think that I'm sounding really, really happy. Well, the major project that I was working on, I got a high distinction for. So I've actually put a link on the top. I've pinned it. You can go have a look at it. My plan was to have the album released on my birthday, which is like not this weekend, next weekend. It's not going to happen. Everything's still in demo mode. Very good, Andrew. Still in demo mode. I've started to record, I think the song right down the bottom of the left-hand side, Climb Every Mountain, is probably the closest to completion. That I need to just redo some of the vocals and start mixing it a little bit better. So that one may be out. And the other thing is that when it's out, or as each song will be out, there'll be a donation basis. So you can donate whatever you like. You don't have to donate anything. You can donate whatever you like. If you think it's a really good that could be taken the wrong way, Andrew, but that's funny. I understand exactly what you're saying. If you've just walked in and you saw that comment and you don't know what it's talking about, you're talking about his guitar. Hello, Julianne, how are you? Yeah, so the songs will be released one by one as I mix and master them. So anyway, yes, so I'm quite excited. I got a really good mark. No, mine's the 9th. Mine's the 9th, D. I said guitar, Andrew. I knew exactly what you were talking about, but people might have just tuned in and saw you talking about that. I'm not going there. Anyway, so let's get started with what we've got to talk about tonight. So, R. Kelly. He was found guilty of all charges in his sex trafficking trial in New York. So he was convicted by a jury of 7 men and 5 women. He'd been charged with 1 count of racketeering, 8 counts of violating the Mann Act, which prohibits transporting people across the state lines for prostitution, and faces 20 years in jail. Okay. Yes, to order cook. They did ask. I was asked recently to take a mother who was due to give birth, but I've never had a pregnant mother before, so I said no. So he faces 20 years in jail. So they say that he took advantage of his fame and charisma to recruit the victims. Today's verdict forever brands R. Kelly as a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the young, the vulnerable, the voiceless for his own sexual gratification. Acting U.S. Attorney Jacqueline Casillas says. Kelly is a predator who used his inner circle to ensnare underage girls, young men and women for decades in a sordid web of SA, exploitation and humiliation. To the victims of this case, your voices were heard and justice was served. So he's actually going to be sentenced for this case on May the 4th. His alleged victims include late singer Aaliyah, who Kelly briefly and illegally married in 1994 when she was 15. Several witnesses testified that Kelly instilled fear if his victims did not fulfill his every sexual need, sexual or otherwise. Kelly did not testify in his defense, which only lasted 2 days. During cross-examination, several witnesses, his lawyers tried to portray Kelly's accusers as former fans who felt jilted when they fell from his favour and argued that their sex with Kelly was consensual. So Kelly still faces federal charges in Chicago on CP and obstruction and state charges in Illinois and Minnesota. So it's we're not even, so we've only got one more charges to help with. So one of Kelly's lawyers said he was disappointed and hoped to appeal. Hello, Robin. So it finally sounds like that justice is being done. So he's got 20 years for the stuff that occurred in New York. And he's still got a lot of other stuff now to deal with. He believed he was untouchable, and of course, he wasn't. So, do you have thoughts on that? Do we have any thoughts on that? I think it's a good thing. By the way, has anyone seen Bobby's new video today? Oops. 20 years is a good start for Fox. Yes, it's a good start. Anyone seen Bobby's new video today, or do we need to watch it? I believe he can fry. I wonder, does any of those states have, could he be given the death penalty? Hello, Julianne says yes. It was good, wasn't it? Okay, so Simone Biles. So as we said, the part 2 and 3, part 2 was aired last night over Facebook. She says that she's still bawling her eyes out over a sad new admission that explains everything behind the Tokyo scandal. It wasn't really a scandal, but... Oh, you need to watch Bobby? Okay, we need to watch Bobby. I think Bobby's going to be a nightly thing, eh? So now Simone Biles now admits she should have quit gymnastics long before the Tokyo Olympics. Oh, okay, well, thank you. The 24-year-old said she finally buckled under the range of stresses at the July event, including the unresolved trauma of having been essayed by former USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar. I should have quit way before Tokyo when Larry Nassar was in the media for 2 years. The gymnast told New York Magazine it was too much, but I was not going to let him take something I'd worked for since I was 6 years old. I wasn't going to let him take that joy away from me, so I pushed past that as long as my mind and body would let me. The Olympic champion said she knew her withdrawal from Tokyo was inevitable after she developed a case of the twisties, a severance of communication between the mind and the body. When the condition strikes in the midst of a high-flying gymnastics feat, the consequences can be dire. Say up and about 30 years old, you have your complete eyesight. She said of her airborne instincts. One morning, you wake up and you can't see beep. But people tell you to go on and do your daily job as if you still have your eyesight. You'd be lost, wouldn't you? Biles delivered tearful testimony against Nassar in front of the Senate this month and pinned blame on USA Gymnastics for failing to halt his reign of abuse. When Nassar's claims came to light in 2016, Biles remained mum about her involvement till the case in 2018. Biles said she has forged a fragile peace with her Olympics departure in months. Detaching from competitive athletics has allowed her to travel and reorientate towards her boyfriend and family. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm perfectly okay with it, she said. Like, that's how it works. That's how it's panned out. Then other times I'll start bawling at the house. She credited Mark Manson's bestseller, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep, for helping her prioritize her needs over the expectation of others. So she's amassed 32 Olympic and World Championships, including a gold and silver medal in Tokyo. Said the race was also ratcheted up her internal pressures. She said, as a black woman, we have to be greater because even when we break records and stuff, they almost just dim it down as if it's normal. Despite the turmoil of the last few months, she told the magazine she's got no regrets. I wouldn't change anything because everything happens for a reason. And I learned a lot about myself, courage, resilience, how to say no and speak up for myself. Despite the blizzard of critical media coverage that followed her exit from Tokyo, Biles seemed comfortably cognizant of her place in sporting history. It will be a long time for someone to accomplish what I've accomplished. So what do you reckon of Simone Biles? Imagine if she'd quit, though, before Tokyo. I think it gives us a little bit more of the insight of the pressures that she was actually dealing with at the time. She is very amazing, isn't she? So this is something a little bit different. So in Australia, so where I live, Melbourne and New South Wales, parts of New South Wales, Sydney and parts of New South Wales are in lockdown, and we're actually not able to enter a lot of states without having to quarantine without quarantining for 14 days and for having a valid reason. So there was the AFL Grand Final last weekend and it was in Perth. So everybody who was involved in the game, including the players, the officials, commentators, all had to have approval there. Well, 2 people happened to sneak into the state and have just tested positive for COVID. So look at this. Melbourne men in custody amid investigation into alleged Perth AFL Grand Final COVID breach. WA police have arrested 2 Melbourne men who are accused of using false information to enter the state via Darwin and attend the AFL Grand Final on Saturday. So you don't need to quarantine if you come from certain states. So Darwin is a safe state. Melbourne isn't. Melbourne is not a safe, like we're a red zone. So videos and photographs appear to show one of the men, 49-year-old Hayden Burbank, inside the change rooms at Perth Stadium celebrating with Melbourne Demon players after the game. This morning, WA police issued an alert seeking the whereabouts of him and another man. They were later taken into custody in the southwest region of Perth. It is understood the pair were taken to Busselton Hospital by police and tested for COVID in a driveway. Police have said the men arrived in the state via Darwin using falsified records. The alert seeking information on the whereabouts said they had arrived from interstate and were suspected of failing to comply with the direction Emergency Management Act. It is also said they believed to be in the southwest region. Yes, they drive in a black car. They haven't charged them yet. However, danger zone. The danger zone. Anyway, they're in trouble. The other thing that's happened is that there is WA actually have got a couple. They were in Bustleton, weren't they? This has just appeared. Where is it? There's a case on a plane and 11 and boat with 11 cases. So passenger positive COVID-19 case detected on plane. A ship with six passengers loom off WA. Oh, so they're dealing. So WA are actually dealing with a positive COVID-19 case entering on a military plane, and there's a ship with half of its crew sick with the virus sailing towards the state. So they've swung into action at the same time. So the flight, so it was an RAAF base. It departed Queensland. It was met at Perth Airport by police and health officials, and the sick man and 21 other people aboard the Russian Antonov plane were transferred to quarantine hotels in Perth. It is understood the passengers and crew on the flight were tested prior to departure, and the result came back during the journey. The positive case was a foreign military crew member. There was a ship steaming towards Fremantle with half of its crew infected with COVID-19. The results revealed 11 of the 22 crew are positive. So they're going to be working with health authorities and the Australian Maritime Safety Authority to manage the ship's arrival, and it's due to arrive in Fremantle on Friday. And this one says there were 4 people. So there must have been a few more that they found. So that's all. But the last one was there. Danger zone is in E. Oh, well, I wasn't too far off. Danger zone. So while we're still talking about COVID and we're still talking about Queensland, I know. Well, I don't know why we don't have quarantine facilities instead. I mean, that's the $60 million question. So the Queensland Police Commissioner faces legal challenges over the vaccine mandate. We've seen it in, I believe so, Andrew. We've seen it in New South Wales, but it looks like that 7 Queensland Police Service employees, including 5 serving police officers, are seeking a court order to invalidate the direction and stop it from being enforced. So she's directed both civilian staff and police to have at least 1 vaccination shot by October 4 and the second dose by January 24 next year. So the Commissioner Carroll is named as the first respondent in the legal challenge. She'd said previously any staff member who failed to meet the deadline will be suspended for a week on pay and then asked to show cause why they should not be suspended without pay. So a separate group of Queensland police officers and families set up a GoFundMe page last month to raise money for legal challenges against compulsory vaccinations. And there's more than 110,000 so far. And there'll be more court action to come. In the Supreme Court action filed from the 7 employees, they are seeking a judicial review of the Commissioner's direction, alleging it breaches the rules of natural justice, human rights, and anti-discrimination law. They don't know who's bankrolling the action, and it's going to be heard in the Supreme Court on Brisbane on Thursday. So the Queensland Police Service had stated previously it had sought independent legal advice on the vaccination mandate. Hello, Cal. So we've got more legal action. I mean, essentially what this means is that we've got more legal action And considering that often the police are at the front line of, they are literally at the front line. What do you think? And the rights of other people not to be infected. Yeah, well, that's a good point. It's a good point. Anyone else got any other ideas or things? I need to pull up Bobby the cat too. You think you can get the jab? That's good. You think get the jab, yeah. Well, but there are some people that for reasons can't get it. There are medical reasons why people. Are they Yes. So in Queensland, they're mandating police. Apparently, truckies are supposed to be protesting in Melbourne again, again, more protests about truckies being done too. So I really don't know what's going on. I think if you can get it, you should get it. But I worry when we have people that can't get it for various reasons being discriminated against. And that's my concern. That's my concern. I have no problem, if you can get it. Well, see, and the thing is, if we've got 80 to 90% of the population, then don't we have the herd immunity that we're going for, or are we? That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, as I said, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I don't really know. I'm not a medical expert, but I'm not, I'm glad I don't have to make decisions. But I think we just have to be. I'm very concerned about discriminating against people who legitimately have reasons. If you've got a legitimate reason you can't get it, you should not be discriminated against. And that's my issue. I know that there are some people that are concerned about the fact that how quickly the vaccines rolled out, and the other concern is that with each new variant, the vaccines, we don't know if it's going to mutate again. We don't know what the next variant's going to be. Yes, and I was just reading. Well, they should get medical exemptions, Bo. But the thing is with the Queensland police, they get stood down, and then they've got a week to show reason why they shouldn't be vaccinated. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, let's have a look at the update on COVID around the world. Well, we're still on that topic. So apparently, rapid antigen tests can be bought from chemists from November. See, we're so far behind. Hello, Sky. We are so far behind. Other countries have been using the rapid antigen test. Now, they're saying that smokers are 60 to 80% more likely to be admitted to hospital with COVID and most likely to die from the disease. That's what the data is suggesting. The problem is that most of these studies have been observational, making it difficult to establish whether smoking is the cause of any increased risk or whether something else is to blame, such as smokers being more likely to come from a lower socio-economic background. According to this, they're trying to get some pills so you don't have to have an injection. And don't forget, there are people that don't like injections. Romania suffered record daily high numbers. So a record high of 11,049 in the past 24 hours. It's got the second lowest vaccination rate in the EU, with only a third of its adult population. 40% of medical staff were not vaccinated, and they're talking about using the COVID passport. So on Tuesday, Romania had only 26 intensive care beds available and was struggling to add more because of staff shortages. So in Romania, the pandemic has killed 36,658 so far. Wow. In England, latest figures suggest more than 1 in 10 secondary school pupil and over a third of school staff who had coronavirus have suffered long COVID symptoms. So the most common symptoms being weakness or tiredness, while staff were more likely to experience shortness of breath. 35.7% of staff and 12.3% of secondary schools pupils with previously confirmed COVID infection reported experiencing ongoing symptoms more than 4 weeks after the start of the infection. That's interesting, isn't it? I know, I love that, the fact that there's a swimming pool named after Harold Holt. So new analysis released today has shown that more than 70,000 extra deaths have taken place in private homes in England and Wales. Extra deaths, also known as excess deaths, are the number of deaths above the average for the corresponding period in a non-pandemic year of 2015 to 19. So it's, of this number, 12% were deaths that involved COVID. Many people are dying in their own homes. So this is about the COVID passport. Now, interestingly enough, so this one says, this fourth grader wants to go to school. Florida's risky COVID policies force her to stay at home. Oh, yes, and Victoria has officially overtaken New South Wales in daily COVID case numbers. We did that today, yes. We had 867 new cases and 4 deaths. And another regional area is going down to 7-day lockdown. So in New South Wales, the unvaccinated face a difficult life indefinitely. In the US, hospitals in the state of New York have begun the process of firing or suspending healthcare workers who are not fully vaccinated, resulting in staff shortages, leading to elective surgeries being postponed. Spain's Labour Ministry has agreed a deal with labour unions and representatives of employers to extend the country's COVID furlough scheme until the end of February 2022. That's interesting. It says that a major study of vaccine hesitancy among school children found the younger children and those who are from more deprived communities were more hesitant. Russia's recorded its highest daily coronavirus death total. And again, another lackluster, it does sound morbid sound, a lackluster vaccination drive. They reported 852 fatalities in the last 24 hours. Authorities have been accused of downplaying the severity of the outbreak. 28% of the population has been vaccinated. Well, I believe the testing numbers have gone down in New South Wales. So if you're not testing, well, that's right. And I was reading before that Biden, we'll get there. Where is he? Biden has actually had his booster. So the unvaccinated in New South Wales could be barred from some social activities. A lot of businesses have said they'll not accept anyone who is unvaccinated. The two-tier system designed to encourage more people to get vaccinated have been criticised for both penalising vulnerable groups who have not had access to inoculations and for falling short of providing real incentive for vaccine hesitancy. Pubs, clubs, gyms and hairdressers open for vaccinated on October 11, and more curbs will be eased at 80% of its adult population becomes fully vaccinated. Australia is pursuing a faster reopening than higher vaccination rates despite persistent infections. Now, it's interesting. I was just reading that Singapore, who has more than 80% of their population vaccinated, is actually struggling with high case numbers and are implementing stricter restrictions. They're instigating new restrictions. So interesting, isn't it? I'm just trying to find where I read about. So Japan's ending the state of emergency. So that's good. Finally. They ran the Olympics under a state of emergency, if you remember. India reported 179 COVID deaths on Tuesday, the smallest daily toll since the middle of March, taking the total to 447,373. Infections rose by 18,795, the smallest increase since early March, lifting the total to about 33.7 million. That's pretty scary, isn't it? In the US, President Joe Biden has had the coronavirus booster jab. The White House has confirmed it comes days after his administration gave the go-ahead for a third shot of Pfizer vaccine in certain populations. Now, what I have issues with here, yes, I know world leaders are important and you need your world leaders, but are they more important than everybody else? I don't see why they should have to skip the line. I just don't like, politicians jumping the queue. So, yeah, Indonesia's has had a decrease. All right, here's another question for you. This isn't about COVID. Statues. Well, yeah, ours made sure they were vaccinated, didn't they? I mean, we've got politicians travelling overseas. The rest of the us can't. They shouldn't be allowed to travel overseas either, in my opinion. So, scantily dressed statues. Yay or nay? So, a statue depicting a scantily dressed woman from a 19th century poem has sparked a sexism row in Italy. So, it portrays a woman in a transparent dress. So, it's from a sculptor, of course, but it was written based on a poem in 1857. The poem is based on the story of a failed expedition against the kingdom of Naples by Carlo Pisacane. Oh, sorry, I cannot say it. One of Italian's first. I'm really sorry because I can't speak Italian. However, this is the statue. Yay or nay? Well, I don't see why they get a special pension either, Bruce. Yay or nay? Laura Badrini said the statue was an offence to women and the history it should celebrate. So it's sexist. What do you reckon? think it's art. Actually, it's a very nice. It's actually very. I mean, it looks like it's very nicely done. So once again, we have to suffer the humiliation of seeing ourselves represented in the form of a sexualized body, devoid of soul, without any connection with the social and political issues of the story. They argued the statue reflected nothing of the anti-Bourbon Revolution nor the self-determination of a woman who chooses not to go to work in order to take sides against the oppressor. So the mayor of Stackry said that until the row erupted, nobody had criticised or distorted the work of art. So what do you reckon? The artist defended his work, saying, if it was up to him, the statue would have been completely naked simply because I'm a lover of the human body. He said it was useless to try and explain artwork to those who absolutely only want to see depravity. What do you reckon about that? Well, as the artist said, he would have done it naked. So, you know. All right. We're going to head to we're nearly done with all these other little bits and pieces. Then we're going to look at Bobby again. See what Bobby's got to say. Now this one, I just love this one. I've heard of you see on the movies how, you know, cars are running across the tarmac to try and stop the plane from taking off. Well, I bet you haven't seen what happened in Japan. This is hilarious. A turtle. Turtles on a runway will probably never rival snakes on a plane. But one reptile has made headlines after an innocent amble along the tarmac at Japan's second busiest airport, delaying 5 planes. The turtle weighs just 2 kilos. Was seen moving along the tarmac at Narita International Airport, prompting a pilot preparing to take off to contact air traffic control. Staff removed the animal with a net and checked the 4,000-metre long runway for other foreign objects, causing a 15-minute delay for 5 flights. While airport workers are occasionally called on to remove stray cats, raccoons, dogs, rabbits from the runway, turtle sightings are extremely rare. Narita officials believe the creature may have come from the airport's retention pond, located about 100 metres from the runway. What do you reckon? That's a good point, hey? It would have been the fastest turtle ever. After ANA had to cancel 14 weekly flights to Honolulu due to the coronavirus pandemic, the airline has been using its fleet of A380s on domestic routes. The plane in question was about to take off on a flight to the southern Japanese island of Okinawa when the turtle made its appearance. The airline has shrugged off the disruption. In Hawaii, sea turtles are seen as bringing good luck. We hope this turtle that came to see the flight off signals a bright future. So what do you reckon? Isn't that funny? That a turtle, a 2-kilogram turtle managed has managed to delay so many planes. Oh, was Donatello? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, did they put it back in the pond? I love those quirky type stories. They actually make me laugh, as you can tell. So I Google. If it was run over by the plane, it would have been done. If you're remember in Australia early in the year, Google threatened to, Facebook also stopped media. There's been some issues with Facebook and Google. So a report by the Google dominates Australia's online advertising market to the point of harming publishers, advertisers, and ultimately consumers. The country's antitrust regulator says, calling for new rules to rein in the big tech giant. So the ACCC wants Google to make it clear to customers how it uses their personal data to sell ads. The amount of personal data Google collects from its customers gives it a data advantage over competitors. The ACCC says that Australia's online marketing is suffering. So apparently it said that more than 90% of clicks on advertisements traded through the Australian ad tech supply chain pass through at least one Google service. So for example, Google prevents rival ad tech services from accessing ads on YouTube, providing its own ad tech services with an important advantage. Google has used its vertically integrated position to operate its ad tech services in a way that has over time led to a less competitive ad tech industry, ACCC Chair Rob Sims said in a statement. The conductors helped Google to establish and entrench its That's the irony, the fox. As interests of these parties do not align, this creates conflicts of interest for Google, which can both harm advertisers and publishers. The regulator says Google, which is owned by Alphabet Inc., benefited from vast amounts of Australian personal internet usage data from its search engines, mapping service, and YouTube video streaming services. On the report, digital advertising services inquiry concludes that enforcement action under Australia's existing competition laws is not sufficient to address the competition issues in the sector. Now, however, Google, this was back in January. So this is back in January, Google was threatening to pull its search engine because of this exact same thing. So under this media code. So Google has been in the eye of the ACCC or the government for a little while. So, yeah. What do you reckon? I know, and it's just really interesting that they're not prepared to go after the Murdoch press, but yeah, we'll go after Google, the tech giant Google. And don't forget, Google is in litigation with Braz. Well, we don't know. Well, is that why we're getting all these? Is this why I'm getting at least 3 or 4 calls a day to say that I've got an arrest warrant for me? I need a holiday. All right, Bobby. I did actually watch it today because I needed to make sure that he was suitable. Bobby. Oh, time travel cat. The time Katie. Sounds a little fishy. So here we go. Here's Bobby for our Bobby fan club. Well, everybody uses Google. A lot of the other search engines aren't very good either. Let's be honest. All right, let's go to Bobby. Sorry, I had day 2 of a conference today. It's been a long day. It's been a long week so far, but as you can see, I'm pretty upbeat. I'm pretty good.
Bobby. I am the robot cat. Let us travel back in time to when Catherine Joy was a mommy expert and also mummy-shamed Kim Kardashian.
Oh, we're going back in time. Wow. That time, Katie Joy mum shamed Kim Kardashian. Did she really do that? Oh, gee, that's an old one. Gee, Bobby's gone back a long way. No, Bobby doesn't have how many subs he's got. Apparently, you can donate to Bobby's creative genius. I love this. Commentary is not fact. All voiceover and text is opinion and should not be taken as fact.
Oh, this is different.
It's this straight talk with Katie.
Why would you pick that pause for your intro?
Honest commentary.
Oh, this is different. Why would you pick that pause for your intro? There was no self-awareness, even back then. Nice manicure, Todd.
Who is the strange woman? Katie Joy or KJ? No, Bobby goes after Molly Golightly, has gone after other people. So it's not just Katie Joy. There's lots of other people.
The show is starting.
Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning in the
What is this
Midwest
voice?
of the United States. Good afternoon if you're watching me from Europe. And
are you mocking me?
Are you mocking me?
good evening if you are all the way on the other side of the world. This is Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball.
Are you certain?
Started, please make sure from Without a Crystal Ball.
Are you certain?
Started, please make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, give me a thumbs up, and comment below to let me know how I'm doing.
There were few comments. I wonder why.
Today, we're going to talk about a brand new baby.
Will you stop fucking talking like that?
You don't know that's KJ, Katie Joy. Yeah, that's all right. Bruce, just be very happy that you don't know who she is. Don't mock Bobby.
Will you stop fucking talking like that? It's as if you are alluding to actually liking children.
In the Kardashian West family. I know. Many of you don't give a flying F about Kim Kardashian, and I'll have to admit, most of the time, I don't either.
Catherine, is this you?
So that was March 23rd, 2020, she wrote that. Huh. No one should be using a pandemic to profit when so many people are dying and out of work. Hey, Andrew, the cat might have great Wi-Fi reception. Obviously not from Australia. Fail, Mo.
However, the arrival of this new baby had me thinking all kinds of science-y thoughts and words worried mom thoughts about how
that's just fucking rich.
See, it's placebo effect. Oh, okay, fine. I don't. You guys, I'm gonna hate this. What? Fine, I don't want you to cry or scream. What is wrong? We'll get to that in a moment. Kardashian.
That was very good clip thing, and I know that Bobby actually edited out her son. Just the way that happened.
What is wrong? We'll get to that in a moment.
That's clever.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West welcomed their fourth child. Number 4. That's a lot of babies in a very short amount of time.
Catherine, is this you?
Oh.
If you're aware, they're already parents to Northwest, St. West, and Chicago West. They really, really, really seem to love the unusual names.
And you seem to really, 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 really love being a condescending jackass.
Oh, you are killing me here, Bobby. Oh, what have we got? Yeah, let's go.
Kanye and the 3 kids. Now they've gone from a family of 5 to a family of 6 because...
Stop singing.
They've gone from a family of 5 to a family of 6. That's usually what happens when you have a baby. Like, you go up a number.
They've gone from a family of 5 to a family of 6 because...
Well, as opposed to going from a family of 5 to a family of 8 to a family of 10. I want Bobby to actually do the ScoMo's press conferences, actually.
They've gone from a family of 5 to a family of 6 because...
Stop singing.
Kanye and Kim announced on Instagram a new arrival.
The amount of force in your delivery here is even apparent to a blind man.
Surrogate. And Kanye texted Kim, who then shared this photo.
They're just words, Catherine.
A photo of
just pick a word.
Who they've named Psalm.
What is your entire point of this?
Yep, that's right. Psalm, as in the Psalms from the Bible. Interesting choice for a name.
It is none of your business.
I wouldn't name my kid that, but I digress.
I digress. It's digress, isn't it? Butterbean, no. Oh dear. No, she didn't seem that she did it back then, hey?
For a name.
It is none of your business.
I wouldn't name my kid that, but I digress.
I remember your days of cloud chasing Grace.
The note seems innocent enough, super cute. It says, "Beautiful Mother's Day with the arrival of our 4th child. We are blessed beyond measure. We have everything we need."
Yes, they do.
Look at the precious
you mad, bro? Don't you call babies crotch goblins?
Now, most of you just see a sweet sleeping baby. Not me. My evidence-based mommy spidey tingling senses are going crazy right now, you guys. This picture has me all kinds of concerned. I'm scared. All the products in these bags are...
Here, if you haven't seen this before, this is quite scary. So she's talking about, hang on. Watch this.
Concerned. I'm scared. All the products in these bags are 100% FDA approved ingredients and totally good and safe for you to eat. Mommy. What? I was telling you to get Daddy. I'm going to dine with Dave. Yeah. Why do you always interrupt me? I'm so worried about why they've given this baby this sleep arrangement. I am freaking out, and I'm going to point this out to you in a second.
Catherine, I would not leave you in charge of a steaming bag of horse shite.
Bobby! Bobby! Oh boy. You can't say that. You can't say that.
Not a parent in the land needs your help. On my opinion, allegedly, to the best of my recollection, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. This cat is always prowling.
So here it is, Bobby. I wish I was as witty as Bobby. When I grow up, I want to be like Bobby. There's our new t-shirt. When I grow up, I want to be like Bobby. It's Bobby. Recap with Bobby is the channel's name. Let me just grab him again. We watched some of his videos yesterday, and he actually his channel. So there's been 44 videos from Bobby. So this is Bobby's Bobby. So there's this one, recap with Doc Chapman says he's helping the Petito family, Critical K, Janelle Eason, Todd Chrisley there. There is I mean, let's face it, Katie Joy gets Katie Joy gets a bit of a mention, you know, because, you know, problematic. Let me just put the link in here. You watched a lot more, Bo? Yeah, so there's a foodie there, Trisha Paytas, Keemstar. So about a week ago, I think. It's been a couple of weeks, I think. So, oh yeah, Keemstar, yeah. Well, let's look at this one. We'll look at this one while we're... This is much more fun. Right. So this one says, WICB Katie Joy conveniently realizes Gabby Petito is missing. Quickly creates monetized content. Oh, the Fox, you've watched it? All right, let's watch this one.
Hi, I'm Bobby. I am a robot cat. It appears that Our Lady of the Potatoes, Catherine Joy, has finally realized a YouTuber named Gabby Petito is missing. The darling girl was reported missing on the 11th of September, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States is still looking for her. And, sadly now, the sketchy boyfriend Brian is also missing. Admiral Lanny must have been quite busy talking about...
Admiral Annie? So this is, remember, this is dated the 18th of September.
Admiral Lanny must have been quite busy talking about Josh Duggar's hands. She only just noticed the entire internet has been looking for the missing van life creator. Of course, She has now decided to hastily create content related to the situation, mistakenly calling her Gabby Petito many times. Let's have a look.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a good day.
Catherine, why are you so happy? This is hardly the time to be high or happy.
Has been sucked into the missing persons case of Gabby Petito.
Patino? Oh, wow. 22. Oh, wow.
Almost 7 days after the girl is reported to authorities as missing, the discount journalist has now figured it out. Absolutely brilliant. From the 11th of September to the 17th, Catherine was too busy obsessing over Lilaro and defaming conservative Christians. I may be a simple robotic cat, but something tells me Catherine heard her pocketbook scream across the hall.
I don't generally cover missing persons cases, but I felt like this would just be an opportunity to share information that I have discovered on the internet.
Translation: I like money.
And provide information for you guys to share if you have any tips and where you should call if you have any information about this.
So in her usual empathy-free fashion, the former mommy blogger decided to create the illusion she has been obsessed with this terrible situation. And, almost as if she just opened up a news app, flooded her platforms with false outrage and her trademark advocacy of convenience. Now we will have to endure days of her being the voice of all victims. Until an ugly girl wears pants.
Until a doggy girl wears pants.
Endure days of her being the voice of all victims. Until an ugly girl wears pants. And much like the Sophie Long case, her interest will last as long as her AdSense revenue. If you have any information about Gabby Petito, please contact anyone other than Catherine Joy. May answers be found. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. This cat is always prowling.
So there you go. That's another one. So yes. Bobby likes to tell it as it is, eh? Catherine. Yeah, hello, Rufus. Well, that technically, Catherine is technically her name. So let's have a look at her Twitter just briefly. Oh, really? All right. So I'm just trying. How much did she post today? This is like. I'll go through all of these, all of her Twitter. With a clue should be her name. So she's talked about. And when has she talked about R. Kelly, by the way? When has she talked about the R. Kelly scandal? Look at this. Look. Back. Oh, where we go. 23 hours ago. 19 hours ago. Protesters outside the house. Flowers dropped off at the laundry's home were sent by a Twitter user. She sent them for Gabby as her memorial. Thank you, Cal. Then we've got something about a fraudster. Hang on. Yeah, I saw that. Hang on. I love how she's going to the facts. Jonathan Richards is a convicted fraudster, according to Wikipedia. All right, Wikipedia's spoken. There is a reason why universities don't allow you to use Wikipedia as a source, right? He has his own page. He allegedly filed over 2,600 lawsuits. He spent time in federal prison for wire fraud. He sued Michael Vick, Martha Stewart, George Bush, alleged, and it's supposed to say allegedly. Then we've got another missing person that she shared. What's this one? Oh, a person of interest. Thank you, Cooper. Then we've got Northport PD interfering in the flower delivery for Gabby, saying they can't be delivered here. Well, that's right. If you go to the bottom and follow the citations, correct. She doesn't like the Northport PD, does she? Maybe a neighbour of the laundries would allow the flowers to sit on their yard. I think it's ridiculous that the MPPD is denying flowers to be delivered to a home because no one will see it. People are trying to send a message to the laundries. If there's no one there, what's the point? And now she's talked about, I love again, she's using a really good source, CNN, of course. R. Kelly. And she goes, imagine if the Northport police put this much effort into watching Brian Laundrie's home before his disappearance as they do to prevent flower delivery to the Laundrie's home in honour of Gabby. But why? Why are people sending flowers to Laundrie's home in memory of Gabby when the family said don't send flowers, we prefer donations? I don't get it. No support. Josh Duggar alone in court, apparently. So we had to put in our Josh Duggar thing. Confirmed the MPPD officer was acting without direction and maybe just being a jerk. I mean. But it says, update, Northport police spokesperson told us they will let people leave flowers here until they get a complaint. That's not. What she's shared is not what she said. So if it's saying they told us they will let people leave flowers until they get a complaint, but she's saying that it's confirmed that the officer was acting without direction. Where do you get that from? Lisa Chapman says, I can confirm Dog the Bounty Hunter has a lead on Brian's location. Dad has alerted the proper authorities. So prayer, guys, this could be it. Well, apparently she does only like police going to her house, allegedly. Hang on. And then she goes, please let this be. Rumours have been circulating for 2 days that Brian Laundrie has been spotted in North Carolina. Carefully crafted words by Brian Laundrie's attorney, the speculation, the public, and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest on a warrant that was issued after he had already been reported missing. After. Then she's got another missing person here. Don't know what that one is. 911 audio. Utah police knew Brian Laundrie hit Gabby Petito. Flowers flood the Laundrie's home in order. So she did another video, another monetized video, playing obviously the 911 audio. We've got a big update coming out of Arkansas relating to Josh Duggar's child SA material criminal case. Hello, Christine. Please stay tuned to our YouTube channel for details. Who's this our business? Maybe Andrew's onto something. What's Andrew onto? Oh, let's scroll back. Oh, yeah, maybe she has it. Oh, maybe she does, Andrew. Yes, I just saw that. I think the issue might have been if the cops had said, hey, but was she reported missing when there had been no reason to hold, like, for him to be wanted until just recently, right? Oh, that's all of her business. According to Dog's team, deputy arrived at Fort to check a new lead case. Return tomorrow as it's too dark for new search. Tips suggest parents may have visited more than once. Then she goes, the campsite is 75 miles away from the laundry's home. Steve Bertolone said that he wouldn't be concerned about a campground, in his opinion. Why is she dogging the dog? Since Bryan Laundry might be in Pinellas County, you might want to check the scanner. Why is she telling people how to do their job? Josh Duggar's terrible day in court reveals shocking witness. No way. She didn't reveal. She didn't call out the witness, did she? She didn't call out. Oh, I don't like to go after his looks or anything like that. Come on. Remember, just because the FBI did not release information about Laundry's camping trip at Fort DeSoto Park, where Dog, the bounty hunter, reports he's received a lead regarding Bryan Laundry's whereabouts, does not mean the FBI did not already have this information. Dog says he could be there or have left, then wouldn't say who he contacted. And then so this is says he's got a new lead. Anna Duggar looks smug as hell walking out of court with her pedophile husband. Anna heard all the testimony today. She saw it all. She's just complicit at this point. Look, I'm giving Anna, I have to say, remember, Anna Duggar is pregnant. She's due to have a baby. You got to give her some grace. I'm sorry. That's what I think. Here, Lisa seems to suggest the FBI or law enforcement has already searched the area. She said it's happened before where an area had been searched and cleared, then they go back to find the fugitive. Of course, look, why wouldn't you go back? I mean, I used to play hide and seek, and I used to go back to where the seeker had already looked. I mean, come on. Well, you're right, Will. I don't see why. So now she's complaining because she got blocked by... No, he hasn't been found guilty yet, no. No, that was just a case. All his motions, I believe all his motions got dismissed. So he's still on bail. She goes, I wasn't rude. I was clarifying her statement and she blocked me. Odd. So she goes, and this, so here Lisa seems to suggest that the FBI or law enforcement has already searched the area. She said it's happened before where they go into an area and search clear. She said, I wasn't rude. Wow, that's a day. That was a big day on Twitter. I mean, I scrolled through. I mean, I really want to. Oh, really? Oh. I should pull up Reddit, because is that on the Reddit, Joanne? Is that on Reddit? No, who said... no, who was it? Joanne, is it on Reddit? Because, I haven't seen that one. Have a look. All right, so let's have a look. Oh no. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. I'm hoping this is it. Is this Walt here? This is Katie and Walt. All right, let's have a look. This is the only way I can watch her. Oh, come on, play. Oh, it's coming, obviously. Doesn't want to play. Is this the one, Joanne? It says, hey, Walt, thank you for all your hard work and journalistic and pointing out coverage. Oh, dear. I thought that said it was a video. Oh, it is. There we go. See, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I know when I was pregnant that, you know, often you would just keep the peace. You would just, you know, you didn't want to be mucking around with all, you know, arguing and stuff like that. So I can just imagine. I'm not in Anna's shoes. All right, let's have a look. Oh, maybe if I click this and turn up the volume, it might work. It might work now.
And, you know, I've been watching WFLA quite a bit, and I've been really confused with their coverage because they're so confused. Like, for the last 2 days, they have been utterly perplexed about why the FBI is looking for Brian. They've been completely obscure about calling this a criminal investigation. They have been the only media outlet, WFLA, which is the Fox affiliate, I think, in Tampa or Sarasota. They've been the only outlet I've seen that refuses to say that he is a suspect, that it's a criminal investigation, that he is...
What? Spit it out.
FBI is doing a manhunt. They are so... This Walt guy is so obtuse.
That big pause. Go back. Let's look at that big pause again. Wow, that was huge.
The FBI is doing a manhunt. They are so... This Walt guy is so obtuse. And the Walt guy flat out said today that he couldn't be charged with accessory because it's illegal under the Florida statutes and you can't charge someone with accessory.
Did she say statutes? Did she just really say statutes? She didn't say statutes, did she? Statutes. It's a statute. Statute. And the Oscar goes to...
And you can't charge someone with accessory. But if you live in Florida and you are a United States resident, which, by the way, anyone that lives in the United States...
So if you live in the United States, you're a United States resident. Oh, this is getting better and better.
Because it's illegal under the Florida statutes and you can't charge someone with accessory. But if you live in Florida and you are a United States resident, which, by the way, anyone that lives in the United States is a United States resident.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that if you lived in the United States, you were a United States resident. I can sleep now. I found something out.
The United States laws supersede all state laws. WFLA is Tampa's local NBC. Is it? Okay. I didn't know which it
was. Statuette.
No, they legally can. I mean, every other outlet was calling it a criminal investigation. It was. Every other outlet was calling it a person of interest. Everyone else knew what was happening. They knew why they were looking for Ryan, right? But I was like, why are you downplaying this, Walt? Why are you keep saying that he can't be charged with accessory after the fact? Yes, they can. It's a federal case. It's not a Florida state case. So,
I just, let me jump out of the journalism side of my brain. I just don't like it. And I just, you have to believe in the Constitution. You have to believe in the process. And it's just not. I look at something like that and I would ask those people, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect? Oh, okay, I'll come on. I mean, and they have a right not to talk. That's why our Constitution is better. And by the way,
you agree about Walt on WFLA. I feel like JB gets it, but I feel like Walt is very stubborn about this. And I don't know where that comes from. Part of me was like, do they have a connection to the laundries? Do the laundries have business connection?
Or maybe he's a real journalist. Where does that come from? Fact checking.
Does WFLA does he have a personal relationship with the laundry?
Oh no. He's won numerous journalism awards. Oh, this is comedy. This is comedy gold. This is brilliant.
Is there a reason why he's being so cagey about this? Because every other outlet has been very clear that he's a person of interest, and person of interest is just a very nice way of saying suspect. And they're being very...
No. It doesn't mean he's a suspect. It means that doesn't person of interest mean the police want to talk to him. That's all it means. They're a person of interest. Doesn't mean he's a suspect.
Be careful about calling him a suspect because of that.
What?
By the way, JB, this goes to a post that I was made aware of last week. This fuels this post where somebody, I didn't even respond, somebody said that I have connections to the laundry family and that I'm protecting the laundry family and that...
But I did wonder, do the laundries know someone at WFLA? Is that why they're being so obtuse about this? And any good reporter, especially because Walt says that he does true crime and he covers these breaking cases, should know that federal law trumps everything else. So it's unclear to me why that basic issue... And then they even put an article out saying that they couldn't be charged. It didn't make any sense to me. At all. I was like, why are you saying this? I was wondering if it was this, Nadine. Do they sponsor WFLA?
She hasn't. She just didn't. No way. No way. She's not implying.
Like a sponsor of WFLA, because they do own a juice company, and I was like, maybe they're a sponsor. I don't know. Maybe they have deep pockets with that kind of stuff. I'm not sure.
And I don't know the laundries, and I don't have a dog in this fight other than I'm looking at both sides. I just look at that as I don't like it, and I think it's unfair.
I don't know about this.
And that I think they even said, "Oh, I must be a quote wife beater too, because I believe that there's a fairness here, and you have to be fair." And that right there is not fair. That's just unfair because they don't.
But Walt is correct. You actually have to, when you report, you have to do fair reporting, which means you have to look at things from both sides. There's still more to come? No way. Oh, no.
I don't know about this. Walt is definitely odd, and he likes to play co-op. Thank you. I don't watch them normally, so I don't know much about them. Like I said, I like JB's coverage. Walt is just kind of, I don't know. It has to be a sponsorship, maybe.
Fair. It's vigilant. It's a step before vigilantism, is what it is.
I think that's a really good way to put it there. A step before vigilantism.
Wow. That's why I've even tried to be fair on the Josh Duggar stuff, because you've got to remember that Josh Duggar has children, innocent children involved, and you got to be fair, because at the moment Josh Duggar is still innocent until proven guilty. We know that Brian Laundrie's on the run. We know. We know that he's wanted by police now. They've got an arrest warrant. But you can't speculate. You can't speculate about anything. And you've got two sets of parents involved. I don't know. I just think you have to, as a reporter, your job is to report the facts. Your job isn't to make up your own storyline. You report what is known from both sides. Hey, and I'm not even I won't even profess to be a journalist, but you got to give fair reporting. And I mean, there's so much. We complain a lot about biased reporting. She's just doing biased reporting. Actually, those of you in Australia, she could work for Murdoch. Oh, look. Oh, Macron talking about after Australia cancels submarine order, French President Emmanuel Macron tells Europeans to stop being naive. He's told Europeans to stop being naive after Australia's decision to cancel $90 billion submarine deal with France earlier this month. He made comments as he announced a new deal with Greece, who will buy French naval frigates worth about $4.8 billion. So they're not crying about the... Oh, no, they are crying because, $4.8 billion. These submarines just won't go away. It was the president's first public comment about the acrimonious ending of the deal, which saw the Australian government terminate a contract with French defence company Naval Group for 12 conventionally powered submarines on September 16. The cancellation came just hours before Australia announced the formation of the new alliance, AUKUS, with the United States and United Kingdom, who will provide it with nuclear power subs. So the cancellation of the deal drew condemnation from France, with officials saying they were cheated and deceived, and saw the French ambassador to both Australia and the United States withdrawn. Mr. Macron urged Europe to stand up on its own in the Pacific and defend itself during a press conference with Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos. I'm sorry, I messed up. I cannot say the names. We are under pressure from powers which at times harden their stance. We need to react and show that we too have the power and capacity to defend ourselves. We would not give in to escalation. It's simply about having ourselves respected. So there you go. The French president said the cancellation of the deal would not impact its presence in the area, saying it was a major power regardless of any contract. The Australian decision does not change the France's Indo-Pacific strategy. It was announced in 2018 in India. We have several partners in the region, and their true history and geography is unchangeable. French is an Indo-Pacific power regardless. So there you go. So the French ambassador to the United States is returning to Washington on Wednesday, but they're not sending their ambassador back to Australia. So anyway, I would like to run it into a time machine if possible and be in a situation where we don't end up in such an incredible, clumsy, inadequate, un-Australian situation. There you go. He's spoken, hey? What do you reckon about that? Oh, dear. Hello, boy to mum. Oh, boy mum too, sorry. Boy to mum. Sorry, boy mum too. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that happened, a little while back. She sent everybody, was that back when she sent a cease and desist to everybody? Or was that earlier in the piece? That was back in August, didn't she send that to him? So, yes, but she did send him a cease and desist. Anyway, on that note, I think because I'm starting to mispronounce people's names and make a really big fool of myself, I should probably leave while I'm still... but thank you for joining me. If everything goes well, I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll have some more laughs then. Thank you. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you hit subscribe if you've not already subscribed. And I hope you have an awesome day, awesome night, or whatever time zone you're in. And thank you for watching. Bye for now.